Chosen one. This message is not an accident. It found you at the exact moment you were meant to receive it. You didn't stumble upon this video. You're not being ignored. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. And what's coming next is not for the crowd. It's not public, it's not loud. It's personal, between you and God. God is about to visit you. Not through a preacher. Not through a dream. But directly spirit to spirit. He's seen the silent tears. The nights you couldn't sleep. The prayers you whispered under your breath that no one else heard. You think he missed it. No, he was there for all of it. And now, he's on his way. Not to bless your image. Not to fix your reputation. But to touch your soul. This isn't about a breakthrough that makes others clap. This is about healing what you never told anyone was broken. You were never left behind. You were set apart. And now the one who set you apart is coming to remind you who you are. You thought God only visited people in the Bible. But he still visits those who are chosen. And you've been chosen for something that requires intimacy with the divine. That's why everything else was stripped away. So there's nothing between you and him. So if your life feels quiet right now, if it feels like the noise has faded and the world moved on without you, it's not abandonment. It's alignment. God clears the stage before he steps in. He removes the distractions, the false friends, the shallow comforts. Because when he visits, he doesn't share space. You may feel isolated, but you're not being punished. You're being positioned. Your room is about to become the upper room. Your silence is about to become the setting for a supernatural encounter. No camera, no spotlight. Just you and the one who created you. And when he arrives, he won't come empty-handed. He's bringing answers. He's bringing clarity. He's bringing the very thing your soul has been craving, but couldn't even name. This is not a revival around you. This is a revival within you. He's not coming to shake the earth. He's coming to awaken your spirit. The way you hear him is about to change. The way you see yourself is about to shift. Because when God visits, identity gets restored. And when he speaks, it won't sound like thunder. It will sound like peace. He's not coming to impress you. He's coming to transform you. This visit will not leave you the same. Because what he's about to release in your life can't be undone by man. Can't be blocked by demons. Can't be reversed by circumstances. This is a holy transaction. One moment in the presence of God can do what 10 years of effort never could. The things that have haunted you, the shame, the regret, the fear, they won't survive this visitation. Because when God steps in, darkness has to flee, chains must break, and silence becomes a sacred space where glory enters. You won't need a sign. You'll know it's him, because your soul will recognize its maker. The anxiety, it will lift. The confusion, it will settle. And the part of you that's been restless for so long will finally feel home. Chosen one. Get ready for a moment that can't be explained, only experienced. Because when God visits, everything aligns. You've been wondering why things felt delayed, why doors didn't open, why people walked away. But what looked like rejection was actually divine protection. God was making room, not just in your schedule, but in your spirit. Because the version of you he's about to visit needed to be empty enough to receive, humbled enough to recognize, and hungry enough to never let go. This is why your heart has felt heavy, why you've been sensing something's coming, but couldn't explain it. Your spirit already knows. He's near. This won't come through loud announcements. It won't be posted online, because sacred things are often hidden. And this is sacred. He's about to breathe on your purpose, whisper to your future, and unlock gifts you didn't even know you had. What you thought was over, he's about to revive. What you buried in doubt, he's about to resurrect. You don't need to chase his presence. You just need to be still enough to feel it when it enters the room. He's not coming because you were perfect. He's coming because you were honest. You didn't fake your faith. You didn't pretend to be strong. You brought him your weakness, and he called it worship. This is the moment your waiting turns to witnessing. You've walked through seasons where God felt silent. But even in his silence, he was setting the stage. You weren't forgotten. You were being fortified. The trials didn't break you. They built the altar. And now fire is about to fall. This is more than a feeling. This is a holy visitation. He's not just going to encourage you. He's going to empower you. To walk in rooms you once felt too broken to enter. To carry a light that exposes lies. To speak with an authority hell can't silence. When he visits, you don't leave impressed. You leave transformed. And what's coming won't just bless your life. It will redefine it. This is the kind of encounter that rewrites your story. Not just for you, but for those connected to your name. Your bloodline, your future children, even those watching you from a distance. They're about to witness what it looks like when God visits a chosen one. He's not visiting your reputation. He's not visiting the version of you others think they know. He's visiting the real you. The one behind closed doors. The one who almost gave up but didn't. The one who kept praying even when your voice was shaking. That version of you, that raw, surrendered version, is about to be marked. You won't be able to explain what changed. All you'll know is something left you and something greater entered. Fear will lose its grip. Doubt will lose its power. Because where he is, nothing broken can stay. You are not about to be inspired. You are about to be invaded by glory. And when God visits, he never leaves things the way he found them. He rebuilds. He restores. He reclaims what the enemy stole. That's why the enemy fought you so hard. Not because of where you've been, but because of who's about to show up. Every setback was surveillance. Every delay was divine. Every loss was leading to this moment. God doesn't visit randomly. He visits where he's welcomed. And your pain, your surrender, created a space where his presence won't just pass by. It will dwell. The atmosphere around you is shifting. Not because you forced it, but because heaven responded to your authentic cry. You weren't performing. You were pressing in. And now, you're about to receive what no man could give you. A touch that heals. A word that delivers. A presence that fills. This is the part where your spirit finally exhales. Where your mind stops racing. And your soul says, he's here. You'll notice it first in the stillness. Not a loud bang, not a dramatic moment, but a peace that doesn't make sense. Your heart will feel weightless, not because the storm ended, but because he stepped into it. You'll start to see with new eyes. The very situations that once drained you will now become evidence of his hand. That toxic relationship he removed. That job that didn't work out. That door that slammed shut in your face. All of it was clearing space for what he's bringing now. Not just a better opportunity, but a divine assignment. And this time, You won't go in confused or second-guessing. You'll go in marked by fire, with clarity, with boldness. Because when God visits, He doesn't just bring comfort. He brings commission. You were chosen not just to survive, but to stand up and shake atmospheres. And now that He's coming close, everything you touch will carry the evidence of this encounter. Your voice will change, not louder, stronger, because now it carries the weight of heaven. You won't speak from pain anymore. You'll speak from presence. People won't understand the shift. They'll ask what happened to you. They'll notice the glow, the calm, the confidence. But they won't know it came from a private moment with God. Because this visit isn't for public validation. It's for private transformation. You'll begin to walk differently. Not in arrogance, but in alignment. No more begging for approval. No more shrinking to make others comfortable. You'll know who sent you and why you were sent. This is what you were born for. Not to impress crowds, but to carry glory. This is why you didn't die in the pit. This is why you survived the wilderness. Because your story wasn't over. It was just waiting for this visitation. And now that He's coming, nothing will be the same. The spiritual weight you carry after this won't be seen. It'll be felt. Rooms will shift when you walk in. Not because of your presence, but because of the presence you host. You'll stop striving. You'll stop explaining yourself to people who never saw your worth. Because when you've been in the presence of God, you don't need external validation. You carry internal confirmation. This is the encounter that gives birth to the next version of you. Not the wounded one, not the anxious one, but the one who knows. I've been touched, I've been sent. And nothing, no voice, no fear, no past, can cancel what God has now confirmed. You were never called to blend in. You were called to burn. This fire He's about to place in you, it won't fade in hard times. It won't flicker under pressure. It will be unshakable. Because when God visits, He doesn't come to pat you on the back. He comes to ignite destiny. This is why the warfare increased right before now. The enemy always panics before a move of God. He tried to distract you, discourage you, and derail you. But what he didn't realize was that all of it only made you more desperate for the real thing. You stopped chasing platforms. You stopped craving applause. You started seeking presence. And heaven responded. Because God doesn't visit popularity. He visits purity. The kind that says, even if no one sees me, I want you. The kind that says, take everything, just don't take your spirit from me. That's the posture that draws Him in. That's the place where revival starts. Not on stages, not in crowds, but in the heart of the one who says, here I am, I'm ready. So if you felt broken, good. If you felt stretched, good. That's exactly where He steps in. Not when you have it all together, but when your soul whispers, God, I need you more than anything. And now He's coming. You didn't miss it. You're not late. You're right on time, His time. Every delay was divine. Every heartbreak had a purpose. Every closed door was mercy in disguise. Because if He had come earlier, you might have shared the glory. You might have built an idol out of the blessing. But now, you know better. You know this moment isn't about ego. It's about encounter. This visit won't just shift your mood. It will shift your future. Old mindsets will be dismantled. Lies you believed for years will fall apart in a moment of truth. And you'll rise, with clarity, with fire, with authority. The same you they overlooked. The same you they counted out. will now carry something that can't be denied. Because this isn't hype. This isn't emotion. This is the result of what happens when the Creator meets the created face to face. And when it's over, you won't just feel changed. You'll be unchangeable. This is what the crushing was for. You thought you were being broken, but you were being poured. God was shaping a vessel that could carry weight, not popularity. Power, not performance. Presence, not noise. Every season that made no sense, every loss you couldn't explain, was preparing the ground for a personal encounter that can't be imitated or taught. You didn't survive just to tell a story. You survived to carry evidence. People will feel it. Without you saying a word, they'll sense the difference. Because once you've encountered God for real, you stop pretending. There's a stillness that comes, a knowing, a fire behind your eyes. Not wild, not chaotic, controlled power. This is where the world ends and your true assignment begins. You've been hidden for a reason. Not because you were forgotten, but because He was forming oil in the dark. And now, with this visitation, that oil is about to flow. And that oil, it's not cheap. It came from pressing, from waiting, from tears no one saw. That's why this moment is holy. Because it cost you everything. You didn't get here by skipping the pain. You got here by walking through it with faith. You didn't choose the easy road. You chose the path that said, even if I lose everything, I'll still follow you. That's why heaven is responding. Not because of how loud your praise was, but because of how real your surrender became. God is about to mark you in such a way that even your enemies will say, that had to be God. This visitation will be proof. Not proof that you were perfect, but proof that He was with you. Even in the silence. This is your burning bush. This is your mountain moment. And after this, you'll never question who sent you again. Because when God visits, He confirms what you always suspected deep down. That you were never ordinary. You were always chosen. This is the unveiling. The moment where the hidden becomes commissioned. You're not just being healed. You're being handed keys. Spiritual access. Authority that can't be stolen. Doors you don't have to knock on anymore. They'll open because of what you now carry. Because when God visits, He leaves a seal. A mark that says, this one has been with me. Hell sees it. Heaven honors it. And the earth responds to it. You're about to pray differently. Not from panic, but from position. You'll speak to storms like someone who knows the wind listens to your voice. Because the same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead will now rest on you. This is no longer about waiting for a move of God. You are the move of God. You've become the vessel, the proof, the answer to someone else's cry. And it all starts here, with a visitation that was never meant to impress, but to transform. You'll feel it in your walk, not just physically but spiritually. A new stability, a grounding, as if heaven put something unshakable in your bones. Where you used to waver, now you'll stand. Where you used to question, now you'll declare. Where you used to hide, now you'll step forward. Because this encounter isn't emotional hype. It's a spiritual activation. The kind that turns wanderers into warriors. The kind that wakes up everything in you that the world tried to put to sleep. This is why the battle was so heavy. The devil knew what was coming, and he feared it. He knew if you survived long enough for God to visit you, you'd become dangerous. Not to people, but to every lie, every chain, every shadow that ever tried to hold you down. And now that he's here, you're not going back to who you were. That version of you expired the moment he stepped in. This is divine territory now. You've been set apart, not just to be seen, but to be sent. You'll start to feel a shift in what you tolerate. Small thinking won't fit anymore. Fearful living won't sit right with your spirit. Why? Because once you've stood in the presence of the Almighty, you can't bow to anything lesser. You'll walk with a new discernment. You won't just hear words. You'll feel spirits. You'll know what's real and what's counterfeit. Because His presence will sharpen your vision. You'll stop chasing what you used to crave. Validation, control, clout. None of it will matter now. Because what you carry inside is more powerful than anything around you. And your prayers, they won't sound the same. They'll carry weight. Because you're not praying from emptiness anymore. You're praying from encounter. When you speak, heaven will respond. When you move, darkness will back up. Because when God visits, He doesn't leave you normal. He leaves you marked with glory. You're not the same. You'll never be the same. Because He didn't just come to touch you. He came to inhabit you. You're going to notice your appetite changing. Not just physically, but spiritually. The things that once entertained you, they'll start to feel empty. The conversations that once fed your ego, now they'll feel shallow. Because when God visits, He awakens a higher hunger. Not for attention, but for alignment. You won't want to just be around the presence. You'll want to host it, to build your life around it, to protect it at all costs. You'll begin to carry a sacred awareness. Every word you speak, every place you enter, every decision you make, will now pass through the filter of, does this honor what I carry? That's how visitation turns into habitation. Not just a moment, but a movement within you. Your spirit won't settle anymore. Not for less. Not for fake. Not for anything that doesn't look, sound, or feel like the one who just visited you. Because when you've encountered the real, you stop playing with the counterfeit. You're not just changing your life. You're about to shift your atmosphere. And now that the visitation has begun, you have a choice. To go back to what's familiar, or to step forward into the fire that's been calling you. Because you weren't chosen just to feel something. You were chosen to become someone. The version of you that doesn't bow to fear. The version of you that speaks and heaven backs it. The version of you hell has been trying to stop, but failed. This is the moment everything shifts. Not next week. Not someday. Now. So if your spirit knows this message was for you, then don't just feel it, respond to it. Because when God visits, He doesn't knock twice. Subscribe now to Chosen Core and walk with the ones who were never meant to blend in. Walk with those who were born to carry fire, who were called to flip atmospheres, and who live with heaven inside their chest. Your time is now. Move.